Listen, I started Jake off and I'm gonna finish him.
Mike Tyson has harshly criticized Jake Paul and warned him that he'll ruin his so-called boxing career. Let's be honest, 4 years in celebrity boxing doesn't really count, but Jake has been boasting about beating MMA fighters and retired athletes like he's a real champion. He's been talking trash about Tyson in interviews, saying things even he probably doesn't believe. At a press conference in Arlington, TX, Tyson completely humiliated Jake in front of millions. Jake looked like he was about to cry, and it was pure comedy gold for boxing fans. Everyone knows Mike Tyson is the ultimate tormentor. He stays quiet until he's had enough, and then he doesn't hold back. That's exactly what happened with Jake Paul. Jake had been making fun of Tyson with mocking videos and distorted images. Mike stayed silent until now, but at the recent press conference, he roasted Jake so badly that Jake might not recover for a long time. Mike even exposed Jake's past wins as being fixed, and he has proof. We'll reveal everything by the end of this video, but first, let's show just how brutal Mike can be. In Mike Tyson's recent interview on Fox News, he dropped a bombshell, saying,
This is called an exhibition. But if you look up exhibition, you will not see any of the laws that we're fighting under. This is a fight.
So, dear Jake, this isn't a playdate. Even at 58, Tyson can still break jaws. The baddest man on the planet isn't someone you trash talk without facing serious consequences. Joe Rogan, who knows a lot about fights, once said,
The Mike Tyson that won the title against Trevor Berbick, the Mike Tyson that beat Larry Holmes, I think that Mike Tyson is the best heavyweight of all time. I don't think anybody
That's the Tyson Jake is up against, a guy who was an unstoppable force in his prime. Tyson's record includes 44 knockouts out of 58 fights. He became the youngest heavyweight champion at 20 years old. Not bad, right? On his podcast, Hot Boxin' with Mike Tyson, Tyson made it clear. I'm going to destroy him. Plain and simple, this isn't a game. He laughed at Jake's boxing career, saying Jake hasn't fought a real boxer and is just a YouTube star, not a fighter. This shows the huge gap in experience and skill between them. In the boxing world, Tyson's name stands for ferocity and dominance. His training is intense. Tyson's coach, Rafael Cordero, pushes him through grueling sessions every day, 5 AM runs, 2,000 sit-ups, and sparring with young professional boxers. Cordero said,
He trained really hard every single day. The way he moved, I never see before. I train a lot of guys, Mo, as you know, for a long time, but in my career, I never hold meets for somebody and throw the punch the way he throw, the power he generates.
This isn't just for show. Tyson is training like he's back in his prime. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has been training with BJ Flores using modern high-tech methods, but he's never faced someone like Tyson. Tyson himself pointed out,
Look at, he couldn't even knock out Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz is 40 pounds. How you gonna knock me out?
Such a hard reality, Mike. Jake's wins have been against non-boxers and social media personalities, not seasoned fighters. The press conference was a spectacle, with Tyson's words cutting deep.
I started Jake off and I'm gonna finish him.
The tension was palpable as they traded verbal blows. Tyson's threat, I'll end you in the first round, wasn't just talk, it was a promise from a man who knows how to end fights quickly. Tyson's historical dominance is unmatched. He's fought and defeated some of the greatest names in boxing. His victory over Trevor Berbick in 1986 made him the youngest heavyweight champion in history. His knockouts of Larry Holmes, Michael Spinks, and Frank Bruno are legendary. Tyson's power and speed were extraordinary, and even now, he still has that raw power. Public and expert reactions have been telling. Even Evander Holyfield, a former rival of Tyson, said, Tyson's not just talking, he's serious. Paul better be ready. Fan polls show 70% believe Tyson will win, and betting odds heavily favor Tyson, proving the public still respects Tyson's formidable power despite the age difference. Jake Paul, on the other hand, is new to the sport. His record is built on fighting non-boxers. His bouts were entertaining, but they don't compare to the battles Tyson has fought. Paul once said, I've done more in 4 years than most boxers do in a lifetime, but Tyson's response reminds us what true boxing greatness looks like. Moreover, Jake Paul's provocations on social media are almost laughable. He's been aiming his digital bravado directly at Mike Tyson, with one standout claim being, Mike Tyson is old news. I'm the future of boxing. Yes, you heard that right. The YouTube star turned boxer thinks he's the next big thing in the sport Tyson once ruled with an iron fist. It's like a goldfish challenging a great white shark to a swimming contest. Paul might have millions of followers, but Jake Paul seems to be confusing social media clout with actual boxing skill. His strategy is simple: annoy Tyson enough to make him lose his cool. It's a classic tactic more suited to playground brawls than professional boxing. The idea is that by getting under Tyson's skin, Paul can throw him off his game. However, there's a major flaw in this plan. Tyson isn't just any boxer. He's a seasoned fighter known for turning rage into sheer power. While Paul tweets away, Tyson is likely just getting more motivated to knock his block off. The boxing community hasn't been kind to Paul's antics. Lennox Lewis, a former heavyweight champion who knows a thing or two about facing Tyson, said, "Paul's poking a bear he can't handle." A fitting metaphor, indeed. Even at 58, Tyson is no less dangerous than he was in his prime. Joe Rogan also weighed in, reminding everyone of Tyson's ferocity.
Like that Mike Tyson, those fights where you wanted to see executions. You didn't think anybody was going to beat him. Everybody he fought looked like they were about to die.
Think about it. Tyson's uppercuts and jabs are legendary. His uppercuts could lift opponents off their feet, and his jabs were quick and deadly. The boxing ring is a far cry from the comfortable world of social media where Paul thrives. Tyson's punches aren't just punches, they're wrecking balls. In his prime, Tyson's hits were so devastating that his opponents often seemed relieved just to leave the ring alive. It's hard to see how Paul's tweets will stand up to the reality of Tyson's fists. Tyson's fights were spectacles of power and precision. Fans didn't just watch, they held their breath, praying for the end of what often felt like an impending execution. Paul's provocations might generate buzz and keep his name trending, but they do little to prepare him for the real challenge ahead. It's one thing to talk trash online. It's another to face a living legend in the ring. Tyson's history of demolishing his opponents isn't just a series of wins. It's a testament to his unparalleled skill and brutality. When he fought Larry Holmes in 1988, Holmes, a former champion himself, was knocked out in the 4th round despite his experience and resilience. Tyson's blows were so powerful that they seemed almost merciful when they finally ended his opponent's suffering. As Paul continues to taunt Tyson, the reality of what he's walking into becomes ever clearer. This isn't just another YouTube stunt. It's a real fight against one of the most formidable boxers in history. Now, let's debunk the truth about Jake's previous wins. But before diving into the evidence, let's see how Jake has pulled the wool over everyone's eyes. Jake Paul has always seemed like someone who doesn't quite grasp how serious the boxing world is. It's as if, in a moment of youthful pride, he accidentally challenged Mike Tyson without fully understanding what he was doing. Born in 1997, Jake is only 27 years old. He grew up with social media and YouTube fame, which can create a distorted sense of reality. It's easy to see him as a kid blindly walking into a lion's den. And honestly, did you ever pity him? Probably not, because he presents himself with such confidence. Jake's boxing career has been a masterpiece of strategic planning. He has been very careful to avoid fighting actual professional boxers, instead handpicking his opponents mostly from other sports. His debut fight was against YouTuber Deji Olatunji, who had no professional boxing experience. Jake won by TKO in the 5th round, setting the tone for his career with high-profile matches. Jake Paul's choice of opponents has consistently generated massive public interest while strategically avoiding significant risk. After his debut win against YouTuber Deji Olatunji, Jake fought another YouTuber, Anson Gibb, winning by TKO in the 1st round. In November 2020, he faced former NBA player Nate Robinson, securing a KO in the 2nd round. Despite Robinson's prowess as an NBA slam dunk contest champion, he had no boxing background. Jake's next opponent was Ben Askren, an ex-MMA fighter known more for his wrestling than striking. Jake won that bout in the 1st round. In 2021, he fought former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley twice, winning the first match by split decision and the rematch by KO. While Woodley was skilled, he was past his prime and not a professional boxer. Jake's choice of opponents has been anything but random. By avoiding actual professional boxers, he's cleverly sidestepped real danger, building an impressive-looking record without facing true competition. This strategy has allowed him to capitalize on his celebrity status, making his fights major media events and raking in huge pay-per-view numbers. Despite his controversial approach, Jake's strategy has worked. As of 2023, he boasts a professional boxing record of 6 wins, 0 losses, with 4 knockouts. However, these victories have come against individuals who are not professional boxers, leading to widespread criticism within the boxing community. Today's youth often seek shortcuts to fame and success, and Jake Paul exemplifies this trend. His rise in boxing has been meteoric, but it's built on strategic matchups and media hype rather than genuine competition. Rather than relying on true boxing skill, as Jake prepares to face Tyson, the world will see whether his calculated approach can withstand the brutal reality of fighting a seasoned champion. That's why poor Jake Paul has always been at the center of controversy, especially regarding whether his matches are legitimate. Rumors suggest he's fixed every match he's been in, not just the infamous bout with Tyron Woodley in their second fight in December 2021. Paul knocked out Woodley in the 6th round, but many think Paul's initial panic was because Woodley's tougher training cuts weren't part of Paul's plan. This suggests Paul struggles with even the slightest bit of real competition. The idea that Jake Paul could fight a true professional boxer is almost laughable. His carefully curated fight history, full of non-boxers and aging athletes from other sports, shows that he avoids genuine challenges. But now, why has he decided to challenge Mike Tyson, the guy whose name is synonymous with boxing ferocity and skill? Unlike Paul's previous opponents, Tyson's involvement in the sport is not just for show, it's his life. Rumors are flying that the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight is scripted. Let's clear that up. These rumors are completely false. This fight is anything but staged. Even at 58, Mike Tyson is driven by a deep love for boxing. For Tyson, the sport is paramount, surpassing even his health concerns. He would never participate in a scripted fight. He's here to box, not to act. Adding to the drama, Tyson recently suffered from a severe ulcer flare-up, which led to the fight being postponed. The new date will be announced soon. Despite this health setback, Tyson remains resolute. This is going to be a war, he declared, emphasizing his commitment. Tyson's unwavering determination highlights the stark contrast between him and Paul. While Paul's fights often seem more about spectacle than sport, Tyson's dedication to boxing is evident. Even with health issues, Tyson is ready to step into the ring and give it his all. As the fight date nears, everyone is eager to see if Jake Paul can survive against a boxing legend. Tyson's final warning to Paul was chilling.
I already gave him his warning. Fight like your life depends on it, because it does.
This fight transcends mere victory. It's a test of survival. With Tyson's storied history and Paul's relative inexperience, we are poised for a potentially brutal and unforgettable showdown. What are your thoughts on this match? Share them in the comments section below.